A very warm welcome to all the viewers of this video lecture. In this video lecture, we will talk about arguments and return types in function. This topic belongs to Unit 3, which is about arrays and functions. In this lecture, we will first have a quick recap of previous lectures, which was about introduction to functions. After that, we will talk about what are arguments, what are parameters, and what are the return types in functions. And at the end of the video lecture, we will discuss types of function in C programming. Before we begin this video, I want you to watch a short video clip which will give you a great insight into functions.
Why do we need this printf function? It's just that when the program needs to communicate with the user, like if the program wants to take some data from the user or give some data or some information to the user, in such cases we need to display data on the screen. And for that we need a function, and that is printf. Now see the syntax of printf function here. So write printf, and inside parenthesis, inside double quotes, you write whatever data you want to print. And never forget to add a semicolon at the end. And what you have inside this double quotes, it will be printed on the screen. Now, this printf is a function from the header file stdio.h. So it is important that you include stdio.h header file in your program if you are going to use the printf function. Now let's see an example program. So we are going to print welcome to the C programming using printf function. And so we must include stdio.h header file first. And in main function we have the printf statement, and inside double quotes we have welcome to the C programming and entered with a semicolon. So when the program executes, it will print whatever is inside the double quotes, and here it will be welcome to the C programming. And now let us discuss about the return value of printf function. So a printf function will be returning the character count. So see this example here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters here. So 5 will be the return value of this particular printf function. And see another example, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. 11 characters we have, and that will be the return value. And remember, white space is always considered as an individual character, so that will also be counted. So here the return value will be 11 and not 10.
So now we will have a quick recap of our previous lecture. In previous lecture, we have talked about what is a function. We understood why we need functions. What are the advantages of using a function? So we will have a quick recap now. So a function is a self-contained program segment. What does that mean? It means that it is not complete program, but it is a part of program, or it can be a segment of statements which can be executed separately when given the data, of course. A function will always carry out some specific task, some well-defined task, and a function will carry out its intended action only when it is called or invoked. If you do not call that function in main function, your function will not carry out any task. So it will lie there dead in the program. So every C program consists of one or more function that we already know. You have already studied about main function. So if there is no other function in your C program, there will be at least one function which is called main. We always have In general, a function will process information that is passed to it from calling portion of the program and returns a single value. So wherever the function is being called from, it will take the information from there and execute that program segment. And at the end of that segment, it will return a single value. So information is passed to the function via special identifiers that are called arguments or parameters. We will talk about them further in the lecture. The value returned by the using the return statement. We have seen this in our previous lecture also. Some of the functions may not return anything, and the return data type will be specified as void. We will come to this later. So next thing that we discussed in our previous lecture was why we use functions. So why do we need functions? It will help you to modularize your program, which means breaking down a program into smaller parts. Each part will be independent as a module. It will be called as module. That is why breaking down a big problem into smaller problem is known as modularization. So using function is actually modularizing your program. So all variables declared inside a function will be local variables. Whatever variables you would declare inside your function, it will be local variables. That means they are known only as long as that function is running, as long as that function is alive. As soon as you exit, the control exits that function, or we can say that function completes its execution, those variables die. They do not stay alive any longer after the execution of that particular segment of program finishes. So this is the way how you modularize your program. It will help you to divide and conquer your problem. The bigger problem will be divided into smaller modules, smaller subtasks. So it make your program development very manageable. Having a big task and solving it after dividing into smaller parts is a very convenient and manageable idea. The another benefit of using function is reusability. So all existing functions can be used as building block for a new program. Another use is for hiding the internal details. You can use functions for abstraction. So now we will see what are arguments. The term argument refers to any expression within the parenthesis of a function call. Function arguments are the variables that will receive the data sent by the calling program. These arguments serve as input data to the function to carry out specific task. So any function that is being defined needs some sort of arguments or some sort of value to perform its particular task. So those values will be called arguments, the variables that will receive the data sent by the calling program. These arguments serve as the input data to the function to carry out its dedicated task. So there are two types of arguments: actual arguments and formal arguments. So C function exchange information by the means of these arguments, these parameters and arguments. The term parameters refer to the any declaration within the parenthesis following the function name in function declaration or definition. And the term argument refers to any expression within the parenthesis of function call. The variables that are declared in a function prototype or definition are known as formal arguments, also called parameters. We can also call them parameters. And the values that are passed to called function from the main function are called actual arguments or just arguments. You can simply call them arguments. One thing that we should always take care of is actual arguments and formal arguments must always match in their data type. A function should always match for their formal arguments and actual arguments. As you can see in the example over here, these are the formal arguments which are there in the function prototype or the definition of the function. And whenever we call the function, the actual arguments or the actual values that are given to the function for the calculation or the task are called actual arguments. So here we can see that we have an example here. Here we can see that there is this square, which is a function. This is the function name square, and this is the data type, which is this function is going to return int type. And then there is this integer x, which is the parameter which will be the passed with, which will be needed for this calculation of this function. So these three things, the data type, the function name, and this parameter, all together they make a function declaration. After that, we can see the body of the function. Here is the body of the function in which the calculation will be done. Whatever the task your function should perform, that task will be done over here. In this function, we are having one integer, temporary variable int y. Why I am calling it temporary? Because as long as this function is active, this is going to work. This variable will be living only as long as this function is active. And so as soon as the function ends, the role of this y will also be lost, or it will also end. So the scope of this y is limited to this function. After that, we can see in the next statement, it is calculating y is equal to x into x, which means y will be storing the value of square of x, and then this function is returning y. So this is here we see the body of this function square. After that, we see in void, here there are three variables, int a, int b, and sum square. Here we are taking values of a and b from the user, and we are reading them. And then in this line, in this statement, we are calling the function. The functions are being called. This one function is being called twice. First with a and second with b. Second time with b. So the function square will be called with a, and then it will be called with b. We have got two values from the user, a and b, and they will be called by the user using those two values. So these parameters will be passed to the call function one by one. First, this function will be called with a, so the value of a will be passed here for int x, and it will be the square of x will be calculated, whatever the value of a will be. Let's say a is equal to 10. So it will calculate the square of 10, which will be let's say 100. The value of y will be 100. After the end of this function, the value of y will be 100. If we give the value 10 to a, then y will be 100. So this 100 will be returned to here. Then again it will the same square, the same function is being called with b. Again b is going over here. Let's say b is 5. So if b is 5, after the calculation, the value of y will be 25. 5 into 5 will be 25. So the value of this x, which is 25 now, will be returned over here. Okay. So now we have square of a and square of b, means square of 100 and square of square of 10 and square of 5. And now what all we have to do is to add them. So the final answer will be 125. This statement will print the sum square, which is 125. So this was an example for how you can declare and how you can run a function using passing parameters and arguments to the particular function. So now we see what is a return type of a C function. In our previous examples also, we have seen a return type before the name of our function type. We always give a name to our function, and before that we have a data type added to it, which shows the type of value that function is going to return. So whenever there is a return statement with an expression encountered in a function, that function needs to return a value to the calling function. And the type of value that it will return to the calling function is the data type of that function, which we mention over here. So a return is a value that function returns to the calling script or function when it completes its task, or the return statement is encountered in the function with particular value. It will return the value to the calling function. As you can see in this example, we are having this example which is finding the max. We are giving two numbers, num1 and num2, both of integer type, and we have declared int type before the name of this function, which means that this function is going to return a value of integer type. What this means? This int means that this function max is going to return a value of type integer. In this function, we have declared one variable of integer type. Then we check if the num1 is greater than num2. Two parameter is being provided by the will be provided by the user, num1 and num2, and we will check if the num1 is greater than num2, then result is equal to num1, else result is equal to num2. Return result. So whatever the result will be, it will be returned to the calling function. Because result is integer type, so we have to put integer before the name of this function, which means that it will return a integer type of value to the calling function. So every C function must specify the type of data that will be generated in that function and which will be returned to the calling function. When a line of code in a function that says return is executed, the function ends and no more code in the function will be executed, and whatever the value of that x is will become the result of that function and it will be returned to the calling function. So wherever, what happens when a function is called, let's say in main, this function is being called, this function max is being called. So what happens whenever we call max, it will take the control over here, that we will call the max with two numbers, num1 and num2. There will be some value of num1 and num2, and this function will perform its task, and as soon as we encounter return statement, the result will be calculated and it will be returned to the control. It will return the control to the point where it was called right after there. So this is how return type for C function works. So broadly, C functions can classified into two categories. The first is standard library functions or predefined functions, and the another one is user defined functions, or the functions that user define and declare by themselves. So standard library functions or predefined functions are built-in standard functions to perform certain tasks. These functions are defined in header files which need to be included in the program. As you have been already using some of them, for example, printf, scanf, getS, putS, etc. These are standard library functions which you have already been using in your various programs. The next is user defined function that we actually talking about. So user defined functions are written by programmers or the coders at the time of writing the program. So whenever you write a program, if you need certain type of function or your program demand certain type of module to be developed so that it can be reused and so that it can give you a better management of your program, and it can be tested separately, independently, you develop the program in the function way, the fashion which use the function. So when function is called, the execution of the program is shifted to the first statement of the called function. In user defined functions, when you will be executing a function, whenever the function is called, the execution of that program is shifted to the statement of the called function. So each user defined function should perform a specific task, and function name should always express the task because it improves the understandability and reusability of that function. In our previous examples, we have already seen how function actually works. This example is again explaining you how a function can work. So here we can see that in this particular example, this function is inside the main function. We are calling a function area. This is a function call, and it is taking the control over here at the body of the function. So this function will find out the square area, and then it will return the value over here. So it will be returning whenever the parenthesis or return statement will be executed, it will return the control to the calling function. The called function will be return the value or the control to the calling function or calling statement. So in today's lecture, we have discussed the function declaration, which tells the compiler about the function's name, return type, and parameter. The function definition provides the actual body of the function, which means the task of the function that it will perform will be defined in that definition. So declaration gives the function's name and what type of return value it is going to give, and what are the parameters that are provided, that are needed for this function. These are given in the declaration, and whatever the task that function is going to perform is given in the function definition. Next, we discussed about types of arguments. There are two types of argument: actual argument and formal arguments. After that, we discussed the type of functions, which are broadly categorized into predefined function and user-defined functions. So this is it for today. If you want to reach me for any query or feedback, you can write to me on this email ID given on your screen. Thank you so much for watching.